Bashim Havashai, Bashim Kakwadash. Double honors unto the elders and the apostles of the great millstone. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Real quick, man, this is a show or a channel I came across. It says, what's going on with the shipping channel introduction? Okay, brothers have was pretty much going into the concept of how these shipping containers and shipping freight was pretty much left on particular docks, and a lot of these barges were just left out in oceans, not being shipped to the stores, which you have a backstock or backlog on products and goods. Okay, if you go to these stores now, if you look, they're scarcely stocking their shelves due to a lack of supply of food, and a lot of the food and stuff that they got is backstock from warehouses, or what they call rotational stock, when they remove things from different stores and they ship it to stores that's in greater need. I remember when I was younger, I used to work at I was like 16, 17 years old. I was working at McDonald's, and if we were behind on some bonds or whatever, what the guy to do, the owner, he had like 6 restaurants, he had 6 McDonald's. What he would do, he would recycle stock, or he would, rotate stock from one store to the next for the one that's in higher need or higher demand. So what happens is, with these stores like Walmart, etc., a lot of times they're not really replenishing fresh goods back on their shelves because they don't have it, because it's sitting out here in the dock, okay, which these other nations are making money off America, but yet they can't seem to afford to get this shipment into the stores a lot sooner. Why? Because you have a pretty much a collapse in the fiat of currency. Okay, the dollar is basically collapsing, and it takes money in residuals in order to make this stuff happen. So they say trucker strikes, truckers are walking off. They blame it on the what's going on in the world, which part of it, that is it, but it's all manufactured. Okay, I see what they're doing. They're basically dangling the carrot over the people's faces, over their eyes. So therefore, if they can't get the people to comply to what's in the news, then the next source is using the food. Okay, because the thing of it is, sooner or later, America is not going to be able to import these goods from places like China, Taiwan, Indonesia, you know what I'm saying, Saudi Arabia, Mexico. They're not going to be able to import these goods from those particular those particular countries. So the food that they do have on backstock, they can use that as a dangle carrot, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Because if you look at the world's economy right now, it's going to shit. Okay, next step in the process, a lot of people are debating on whether they're going to go down there and do what they need to do in order to, sustain some type of reputation or some type of sustainable lifestyle. All right, so what happens next? Okay, we're going to starve the people out. Because if you look at it, this guy on the Great Reset Forum, I believe his name is Klaus Schwab. Okay, I'm not sure if he made this quote, but somebody on that forum did. They said, you will own nothing and you will be happy about it. So it makes a lot of sense as to why they're dangling a carrot over people's face. It's not that they can't ship it to the stores, but it's just that they won't. Okay, because for one thing, the dollar is not at the commodity, or is not at the value that it once was. And a lot of these off brokers, so to speak, offshore brokers like these other nations, they know that the money is not worth shit. You see, so this is just another angle that the elites are playing with the people. Because what happens when you run out of food? What happens when you run out of water? People are going to start going crazy. You see what I'm saying? And when people get wind of what's happening, they're going to willingly surrender their freedoms into the powers to be. And I believe through the spirit, that's what's happening. Okay, which can bring about famine. Okay, food shortages, because the word famish or famine just means to be hungered. All right. And like I said, man, when I went to Walmart last week, and honestly, I hate shopping at that place. That's probably one of the worst places to shop is Walmart. Okay, like you got that Walmart demon on you, but that's a terrible place to shop. Okay, from food to fruit to anything, that's a terrible place. Honestly, if I can boycott it, I will. But neither here nor there. But overall, man, a lot of their cereals, a lot of their fresh meats and stuff like that is not being stocked. They're not putting them back on the shelf. Not at that fast of a rate. Trucks haven't been showing up like they was. Like a truck used to come to Walmart like 2 or 3 times a week. I believe they used to get there Tuesdays, Thursdays, and sometimes they have a truck on Saturdays. But usually that's on a good week. Average week, 2 trucks. bad week, maybe one, but they ain't been getting them like that for real. You see what I'm saying? So this China was basically going into that. It says who's in charge of Americans' maritime shipping crisis. Also, you have Alaska Cruises, which is about PVSA passenger vessel. It says Costco is chartering 3 container bounties. So yeah, all the shipments and so forth, man. People are not getting the product. You know, a lot of truckers, man, they're walking out of jobs, etc. You know, so hey, man, the Lord is really getting ready to start a pot of confusion in Babylon, because it says the Great Wall of container ships from China to California. Okay, so matter of fact, I'm going to click on this a little bit, and I'm going to just get a couple of, we just listen to a couple of minutes of it and get some insight on exactly what's going on in this particular province, because, hey, the famine is coming, okay, and they're going to hold this shit over people's head. Like they got one that says what's going on in the Suez Canal. And that's how goods get to America, through flight, through train, trucks, and ship. That's how they're able to buy the merchandise. Like it tells you in Revelation, it says that they buy merchandise no more. So, hey, it's a good thing to see how this thing is going to play out. But I'm guessing by wintertime, you may have a shortage